Hey y'all, so this is going to be a little bit more of a raw share because I don't know if there's real wisdom in what I'm about to say. And I know don't start YouTube videos like this, but hey, this is my channel and you're here if you want to be. So I wanted to share this kind of visual I've been sitting with for myself. And let me tell you where it sparks from. I had this beautiful kind of date with my mom and she was pointing at how we were talking about actually my brother. And for context, my brother is a very boots to the ground kind of person, very realist, and works in like special ops and was like not at all on a spiritual journey. Now, mind you, I've been on this spiritual journey for like 5-ish years. And so he like was into personal development, but spirituality was like definitely far away from it. He had a very visceral awakening experience. And since then, he's had this kind of way of looking at life, we'll say. And it was interesting because he recently gave me feedback. He's like, I was watching your YouTube channel and it's great and all, but it's like missing this core essence of like, I think he wasn't even able to really put his finger on it, and I still have a conversation that I need to have with him. But it was interesting because it was like I could just sense what he was saying. It's missing the knowingness of truth, the knowingness of source. Now, coming back to my conversation with my mom, she was kind of saying the same thing about a lot of times my reflections are more, and I'll just say, I'm pretty sure my mom, actually the context of the conversation, I'm remembering it now, was me asking her how she sees life because she has been so positive and almost to the point where it like felt toxic to me for a while. And I learned a lot in this recent kind of healing conversation with her because I'm like going through all the human emotions. I'm a really sensitive and emotional person. And in our recent conversation, it was beautiful because she's like, I'm so connected to source that like, the way I look at life is so different than I think how most people look at life, me being one of those people, right? So it was interesting because both of them in two different conversations are kind of touching into something that I can't really put words to. But last night in a meditation, I had this visual, which is what I want to share with you today. So pause with me while I do a little drawing for us. So I was kind of like, let me start over here. I was kind of looking at it this way. Where, and if you've studied non-duality or any type of mysticism or spirituality, you'll probably follow along here. But I was thinking of conversations I've had with people in my life, and I was reflecting on one that I had with a person that was really fascinating because I was asking her, like, do you believe in something higher than yourself? And her response back to me was, I believe in me. And it was such a like very eye-opening moment for me. So I'm like, oh, like, we're all mirrors for each other, right? Like, why am I receiving this right now? And I'm trying to have like a conversation about like source and like spiritual experiences. And it was very confrontational in a way where it's like, no, I only believe in myself and my family. And I realized, that's how some people live life. There's this, I depend on myself. Like I trust myself, I depend on me. Like I am the creator of my reality. I am like this 3D is all there is kind of a concept. And then I was thinking again to my mom and my brother who have tapped into something which, and you can feel this, like, I don't think I'm alone here, where like there's certain people where you have the conversation with them and you just know that they're vibing at a different level. There's something that they know that we don't know. And it's like this, again, I'm trying to put my finger on it because I don't know that I'm there yet, but it's, you guys are here with me to be on this spiritual experience, right? So I'm going to say it's this kind of like trust. Like full body trust in source, God, universe, whatever other words you might have for that. But like fully trusting, surrendered to source, right? Like you're a full channel. And then you've got people like me, which I like to think of, it's like the spiritual evolution, if you will, where I'm going to just use the term seeker. Because we can clearly see, we've evolved from this dependence on self. And by the way, like when I say this, there's no right, wrong, bad, good. And like, this is just how I'm viewing this particular moment in time. Okay. So I've evolved from the mindset that there's just me and everything depends on me, but not so fully, because I'm still relying on my own doing, right? There's still a doing nature. I'm a human in this 3D reality, and I still need to operate in this 3D reality. Yeah. But because I'm kind of like, the only way, when I say evolved, it's more like I've grown my mentality to believe, like I believe in a higher source, right? Like there's something greater out there. But there's still this kind of like recognition in me that, as a seeker, there's a knowingness. And this is like something I've really been sitting with. It's like, can I fully trust that, source has my back? Now, intellectually, I think it's also like a moving from like the head to the heart kind of a journey, because intellectually, I know like there's source, right? Like I've adopted this belief over here, right? Like, okay, I'm like, I've grown to this. Like I believe there's a higher source. I believe there's more. But there's still this like gap that I'm kind of sitting in right now, you guys. And it's like, and maybe this is more of an open question for people who've like bridged this gap. And this is where I've done, again, doing. This is where I've gone to like non-duality teachings and trying to understand the I behind the I, the great I. And, a mentor of mine actually recently sent me this video that was like someone who had a near-death experience. And she was sharing how, unlike, most people coming back from a near-death experience where they are, so much more connected to source, what she was saying was like, I came back realizing we're all already source. So I don't have to keep kind of doing this whole spiritual journey anymore, because she's so clear and knows, again, like knows over here, right? This little, like this section right here, knows that we're all source. Now you ask me and I know that, but there's like this, I think I'm just waiting for like the divine touch to finally like get it. Maybe you're with me, where it's like looking around at certain people in my life, I'm like, you were divinely touched. Like you had this beautiful awakening and you just know. And now there's like knowing to the ability that there's no doubt or fear or anything. Like there's such a strong knowing. And I don't know that I've had that experience. I've had a lot of mystical experiences that without the shadow of a doubt, I know that there's more to life. I know that there's spirits. I know that we're surrounded by different energies, and there's a lot more than meets the eye. Kind of makes me think of that saying where it's like, you can either believe that I have to see it to believe it, which I would say is more kind of, oops, I went the wrong way, guys. I have to see it to believe it. See it to believe it is more like over here, versus I believe it, so I see it. And I think that's really the work I'm doing right now is really trusting and believing this is all true. And I'm, practicing acts like prayer and just talking to different, we'll say spirits around me, or just, again, trusting. But I'm still kind of walking this trust line, this gap. Like I haven't touched into this quite yet. And I think that's what my mom was trying to tell me the other day, where it's like, you haven't quite like touched it. Like you haven't like, I'm not even touched it, but like received it. And maybe there's that. So maybe there's, I don't know, I'm just kind of spitballing here, but I think there's a lot of like the inner work of just releasing the doubts in ourselves and finding the places in myself that I am still doubting, that I am still uncertain. And I think a lot of this journey too is about receiving. Like, will I allow myself to truly receive abundance? Do I feel like I'm worthy enough to receive abundance and really get the entire experience? So I just wanted to lay this out because this is helpful for me. And if you're a spiritual seeker of any kind, really curious to hear what resonates with you. How do you see it? Because again, like all of us have such unique, beautiful perspectives. But I appreciate your time and listening and look forward to reading your comments below. Subscribe for more wisdom bursts or just open curiosities. Thanks, guys.